Truth Commission, a lot of people will think of South Africa. We've used them in countries around the world. And basically what it is it's communities all the way up to the national level having conversations about both the gory and the glory of our history and what happened, both throughout the history of our country and leading up to and on January 6th, so that we can come to a common narrative moving forward of what we want our country to be.
Folks, that is California's far-left Congresswoman Sarah Jacobs appearing on CNN with the network's resident tyrant Brian Stelter, calling for a, quote, truth commission over the Capitol Hill chaos on January 6th and all the other topics, by the way, if you notice there. And it seems her voice was heard now. Nancy Pelosi is announcing that Congress will create a 9/11-style commission to continue investigations forever. Does this all sound familiar? But since we are talking about truth, Capitol Police Officer Brian Sicknick was, in fact, not beaten to death with a fire extinguisher. Did you hear me? I said he was not beaten to death with a fire extinguisher. The liberal propaganda outfit, the New York Times, waiting until after President Trump's second impeachment acquittal, was all but assured to issue that major retraction. So what truth are Democrats looking for? And who exactly are we going to drag in front of this commission? It should be Nancy Pelosi herself. She's got a lot of questions to answer. Their obsession, by the way, with casting our nation as uniquely evil is dangerous. And let's make no mistake about it. The purpose of this commission is to silence and punish any American who supported President Trump. They are declaring half the country as domestic terrorists, and their agenda over the next few years is to crush dissent. Well, for more on this, I want to bring in now our all-star panel, Air Force veteran and executive director of the APL PAC, Anna Paulina Luna, also joined by spokesperson for Turning Point USA and host of Poplytics, Alex Clark. Anna, Alex, great to have you both on the program.
Thank you.
Thanks.
All right, Anna, a truth commission comes out, and they want to talk about truth when their chief henchman, the New York Times, a huge retraction on this story about this officer, this poor officer who died, but he wasn't hit over the head with a fire extinguisher by a deranged Trump supporter. It's a big deal.
I mean, first and foremost, we're not South Africa. We're the United States of America. And you're right. If they do want to talk about truth, they need to start addressing the facts that they've been lying and holding out correct information from the American people for now 4 years now. And I'm sure even previously, the only time and reason we saw it is because President Trump took office. So if they want a truth commission, they need to start looking within. But this is not 1984. This is 2021. And we really do need to get ahead of this because these people will stop at nothing for total power and control.
Yeah. Alex, I think Nancy Pelosi may be in for a surprise. You know, if Jim Jordan and Devin Nunes get their way, she's going to be called in front of this commission to answer some questions about why she denied a call-up of the National Guard on January 4th, Alex.
That's right. And if we've learned anything the last few decades, it's that truth and Democrats are like oil and water, okay? They don't mix. And, this Congresswoman, I thought it was interesting. She said everyone needs to adhere to a common narrative. And that's the problem. As far as that goes, Americans already have a common narrative. It's called the Constitution. But the left wants to destroy it and create their own narrative. So my advice is to keep the narrative we have and then actually start living by it.
Well, here's a common narrative they were throwing around over the summer, which was defund the police. It didn't work out too well for Minneapolis. Anna Paulina, they now want $6.5 million. The city council there does, because guess what? The police can't get to all these crimes in time. Crime skyrocketed. They want more money. We told them this, Anna Paulina.
Of course, they want more taxpayer money after they basically demonized and made police officers the enemy of the state, according to the liberal media. So in my opinion, if you are a law enforcement officer in the area, I would actually make the city agree to ensure that they have their back and that they're protecting them against the mainstream media narrative, because what's happened currently is half the nation thinks that law enforcement officers are a bad thing, when in actuality, they're the only people that are willing to deal with the craziness that have been coming down the pipe from the DNC.
Yeah. I know that both of you are huge supporters of law enforcement. Alex, in Minneapolis, they've had 200 officers either retire or go on leave. They don't have, the city council doesn't have the backs of these officers. Alex, what do you tell an officer? I know you know a lot of them today. If they say, hey, I'm going to retire from one of these cities, Seattle, Minneapolis, Portland.
Oh, I don't blame them at all. And people can't be surprised. Look how quickly defund the police has turned into refund the police. And I just want to know, where is the city of Minneapolis going to find recruits? Because just like you said, all of their hardworking policemen and women, or several of them, I should say, left after they ended up developing PTSD from dealing with the riots and being treated like garbage by everyone and having, one of their precincts burnt to a crisp. So I want to know where they're going to be finding new police officers. Are they going to be gathering them from the newly released COVID inmate population? What could go wrong here?
Yeah, a lot could go wrong. And I think you both hit it spot on, as always. Alex Clark, thank you. Anna Paulina Luna, thank you both as well. See you next time.
Thank you.
All right, guys. I'm wearing a Dallas Police badge here on my lapel with a black ribbon on it because Dallas Police lost an officer over the weekend. See, officers face threats. One of their biggest threats, though, happens to be from city councils across the country that do not have their backs. And I feel for these guys. God bless every single one of them, men and women out there holding the line for all of us in cities across America. Well, next on Stinchfield, we